PFL Challenger Series 2 full card prediction. We got Michael Lilly and Jarrah Hussein Silawi, one of the biggest prospects, in my opinion, from Brave CF as of right now, beating the likes of Ismail Nardiev, a UFC veteran, the undefeated Abdurguimov, an absolute beast over there in Brave CF, future UFC fighter in my opinion. Carlson Harris knocking him out in the very first round. Daniel Socrates, a Bellator fighter. Rami Hamed, I believe, a Bellator fighter. And then so many other guys that have fought on inside of Bellator, the UFC. He's just a really, really solid prospect. He's going to fight Michael Lilly, who has fought many other guys on this card, like Carlos Leal. I believe that Dilano Taylor as well. But we also have Dilano Taylor and Mark Martin. That co-main event is going to be an absolute banger. We got Socrates, Pierre, and Carlos Leal in that welterweight division. Of course, like all other fights, will be in the welterweight division. This is the LFA welterweight champion. This is going to be the Titan FC welterweight champion. This is going to be the Brave CF champion. So we got a lot of champions right here. We also got Chris Mixan and Nathan Pierce as well. So some very, very solid fights. But now we're going to go into the first fight here. We got some good fights. Nathan Pierce, Chris Mixan, Carlos Leal, Socrates, Pierre, Mark Martin, Dilano Taylor, and Michael Lilly and Jarrah Hussein Silawi. We're going to start at the bottom of the card and go to the top. We start with the first one here in the welterweight division. Chris Mixan and Nathan Pierce in the welterweight division. Nathan Pierce, 3 wins and 1 loss. A lot of the wins are coming on the ground. Got a TKO win, loss, a decision to Jaden Talker. Then he got a decision and then an Anaconda choke submission win on Branko Busic, a Bellator fighter. He is 29 years old in this middleweight division. Chris Mixan going to be a lot taller by about 4 inches. I'm assuming he will also be having that reach advantage, but he's overall just going to be the better fighter. He's younger. He's got an undefeated record as a pro and as an amateur with a 6-0 amateur career, all of them coming by finish. I do believe he's better everywhere the fight goes. He's the better striker slightly. I mean, it's pretty even there, but the wrestling and grappling definitely goes Chris Mixan. The ground and pound, the wrestling, and all that type of stuff definitely going to be going Chris Mixan there. So yeah, for this first fight here in the welterweight division, it could be close. I mean, it is low-level welterweight action here on short notice in the PFL welterweight division, so you never really do know what's going to happen in these type of fights, but I do expect Chris Mixan to go out there and get a TKO win or a submission win in the first or second round. Carlos Leal and Socrates Pierre in the welterweight division. Socrates has a 12-6 record, fighting some pretty legit guys throughout his career. Preston Parsons, a UFC fighter. Tyler Hill, a Bellator fighter. Brock Weaver, a UFC fighter. Michael Lilly, who is in the main event of this card, and I'm pretty sure that's mainly it for the notable MMA fighters he has faced. But he is definitely, I would say, a finisher. Only 2 of his fights go into a decision, 6 submission wins and 4 knockout wins, with all of his finishes, or all of his losses being finished. So of course, either way, if Socrates wins or if Carlos Leal wins, it'll be a finish. Socrates gets a finish or he does get finished, and Carlos Leal doesn't really get finished, I would say, too often, as it was a decision loss, and I'm really not too sure about that one against Tim Ruberg, but he does get a lot of finishes in his wins. 6 knockout wins and then 2 submission wins, coming off a very nice first round knockout win on Diego Diaz in the LFA 112 welterweight Grand Prix, before they getting wins over undefeated fighters and so many other finishes. I do believe Carlos Leal is going to be the better striker. Socrates probably going to be the better wrestler, grappler type of guy, but Carlos is a good enough wrestler and grappler to keep the fight on the feet with that striking, where Carlos Leal's power is going to shine through, and he will land that shot and knock out Socrates Pierre, and I would say in the first or second round. So it's a good fight there in the welterweight division, but Carlos Leal by knockout. Dilano Taylor and Mark Martin in the welterweight division. We got almost an LFA champion in Mark Martin and the Titan FC champion in Dilano Taylor, both with a 7-1 record. Now let's look at who has the advantages in every facet of the game. The striking in terms of speed, power, agility, movement, all of that type of stuff is all gonna go Dilano Taylor 100%. Power's pretty even, maybe a hand power goes Mark Martin if you were to just throw the absolute hardest punch. But kicking power, I would definitely say goes Dilano Martin here. But overall, if the fight were to be three full rounds of striking, I would have to go Dilano Taylor to win the fight by decision. But of course, we will see some wrestling and grappling mixed in. It is MMA. We're going to see some of that mixed in every now and then. And Mark Martin, being a very, very solid wrestler, that is his foundation style, coming off a couple of decision wins where he uses wrestling every now and then. I mean, he was mainly just boxing with his opponents and then mixed in the takedowns. That's what I see him kind of trying to do in this fight with Dilano Taylor, but Dilano Taylor being a very agile fighter, really, really good hips, solid takedown defense. I really don't expect Mark Martin to be able to land too many takedowns here. If he's able to land them, I expect Dilano to get right back up to the feet, where he is going to be the better striker. So it should be a good fight. Mark's main path to victory is heavy pressure on the feet, takedown. Make this a grinding wrestling match, and that's how he's going to win, but I don't see it happening. Dilano's takedown defense is very solid, and he's the better striker. So my prediction here is going to be Dilano Taylor by a unanimous decision. Jarrah Hussein Silawi versus Michael Lilly in the welterweight division. I'm going to say it right now. Come on. Jarrah Hussein Silawi, he's going to win the fight. The man is an absolute baller over there in Brave CF. Look at his last 3 wins, beating Abdul Abdurgawima by 4th round knockout in that main event. It was for the belt. I mean, it was a rematch because he did lose the fight first off by a split decision. But that guy is doing absolutely amazing. He went on a 4-fight win streak after that, beating Giodofre Pepe in his last fight, who is a UFC veteran, and he submitted him in the very first round right there. He is definitely going to be a future UFC fighter, and Jarrah knocked him out in the 4th round in their main event. Also getting knockout wins over Ismail Nardiev, a UFC veteran who fought Chancellor Country, Sean Brady, who's a top 15 welterweight, Michael Brazeris, and so many other guys on the regional scene. And he went out there and leg kicked him to oblivion and knocked him out in the 2nd round. He also has wins over Carlston Harris, a UFC fighter who we just saw go out there and beat Christian Aguilera, as well as Impa Kazangana, and get knocked out, yes, by Shavkat Rakhmonov in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. This man, Jarrah Hussein Silawi, knocked out Carlston Harris in 3 minutes 51 seconds. Shavkat Rakhmonov knocked him out in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. He's finishing UFC fighters faster than one of the biggest prospects in the UFC welterweight division in Shavkat Rakhmonov. That is very, very impressive. He's a legit prospect. Everywhere you look at him as an overall MMA fighter, he's got very solid jiu-jitsu. That's not necessarily what he's known for. Definitely known for being more of a striker, really solid kicks and punches. And he's definitely going to go out there, in my opinion, knock out Michael Lilly in the 1st or 2nd round. But overall, wherever the fight goes, grappling, striking, jiu-jitsu, I really don't care. Jarrah is the better fighter wherever you look at the fight, and I definitely expect to finish. This is going to be an absolute domination, in my opinion. Michael, he's kind of a journeyman here in the welterweight division. I think PFL is just looking to get a nice highlight for the reels for Jarrah Hussein Silawi. Put him in the PFL $1 million tournament, and I'm going to be honest, Jarrah might honestly win that $1 million. Can't wait to see what happens, but I'm definitely going Jarrah by finish in the 1st or 2nd rounds. But yeah, that is my full card prediction. I got Jarrah Hussein Silawi winning, Dilano Taylor winning, Carlos Leal winning, and Chris Mixan winning. I have all favorites winning, but I do see the fighter that as an underdog that has the biggest chance of actually winning on the card is going to be Mark Martin. That co-main event is very, very close. But that is my full card prediction. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go.